Hi and good morning from Deadwood, South Dakota. That's right, we have gone back into the Wild West, town from the 1800s, and the final resting place of Wild Bill Hiccup, and I want to say Calamity Jane, but I don't think that's right. If I'm wrong, I'll put it right here. But yeah, we're going to explore some true history here, so follow along. So this is cool. Here in the visitor center, the first thing you see is a diorama of what Deadwood looked like back in 1876. And the crazy thing is the number 10 saloon still exists today. And we will be checking that out. So a fun thing to do here is called the Wild Bill Me Selfie Hunt. And you have to take selfies with images of Wild Bill all around town. And if you take 10 selfies, you get a sticker. For 15, you get a magnet. And for 25, they give you basically like a $5 voucher to be used anywhere in town. So I'm going for the magnet. Very cool. In this little section here, they actually have an old Morse code machine, and they have a speaker so you can actually hear what it says. So that was hi, H-I. So we're actually doing one of the Boot Hill city tours, and it's an open air bus. I mean, there is an inside you can sit, but we chose to sit on the top up here. And look, we'll be hitting this later, but I have a museum here.
Left-hand side, the Iron Horse Inn. Now, as I had mentioned, Deadwood has burnt down a half dozen times over its short life, or long life. I should started building all the buildings out of brick or sandstone quarried in the local mines. They also used the type of their feed.
So that horse means it used to be a feed store.
And exit through those front doors were a little pen. Well, indeed, that was the location, but because of those fires I mentioned, the original building did burn down. So we have to use our imagination here a little bit, but imagine behind those double doors that are open there in the front of that building, there's a poker table with Wild Bill sitting there with his back to the door. A very unusual seat for anybody to choose, especially someone with Wild Bill's reputation as a gunfighter, but nevertheless, he felt comfortable enough he took it. Jack McCall came walking into the bar, saw Wild Bill sitting there, removed his revolver, put it to his head, pulling the trigger, killing him instantly. Upon slumping to the table, it was found that in Wild Bill's hand he had aces and eights. We now call that the dead man's hand. location for Wild Bill's burial. The first one was down at that lower cemetery. His good friend Charlie Utter actually buried him here, and she was left to raise her siblings. Now, many say that that process of raising her siblings made her into the rough and tough woman that she became, the frontier woman that she became. She would dress like a man, talk like a man, drink like a man, act like a man. It was probably out of survival more than anything else, is to be able to deal with the cowboys of the day, if you will. Now, she wandered around the Midwest, came to Deadwood that first time in 1876 on that train, but she also traveled a bit to the other local towns, picking up odd jobs, doing whatever she could, once again, to bring in a little income. Once those siblings were raised, most of that income went to her alcohol addiction that she had. So she was up at Terry. She fell ill, once again, probably due to her alcoholism, and she passed, and they brought her here to bury her. Now, one folklore is that she said that that was her final wish, was to be buried next to Wild Bill. And it may have been her wish, but I don't know if the local authorities would have granted that wish. I mean, who was she? She was just a local drunk, if you will. I want to be buried next to some famous people. No one's going to listen to me. I don't know why they'd listen to her. Now, one of the stories that's out there is back in the day when people were being buried here and tourism was becoming a thing here in Deadwood. They decided to put the body next to Wild Bill because it became a one-stop shop for the tourists coming to town. Well, by golly, it looks like it's working. Another character here in Deadwood is Potato Creek Johnny, more of a local character. He died in the 1920s. He was a local guy. He picked up odd jobs, did all sorts of things. Nice enough guy. And he would prospect as kind of a hobby. But he found the largest nugget here in Deadwood, about 7 inches long, 8 ounces in weight, and it was in the shape of a woman's leg. He'd say that, I found the woman's leg. I want to spend the rest of my life looking for the rest of the woman. He never found her. But he was quite a character here in Deadwood. He would show that nugget to anybody that'd buy him a drink. He would tell a story about Deadwood, about the past, because he pretty much saw a lot of it at his age.
So that was really awesome. I'll be in a second. That was really awesome. A bus tour. I highly recommend it. There's a couple different tours. I like that one because it has that was the only one I've seen with the open air bus, like where you can sit on the top. It's $25 per person, and it's $25 per person, and the tour guides are extremely knowledgeable. I mean, they were telling us stuff about all the buildings here. One really cool thing they have here, it's kind of hidden. It's downstairs under one of the casinos, and it is a model railway of basically Deadwood with oh, it's huge. Look at how big it is. It is. Very cool. I pushed the button and now it's storming. That is really cool. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. That's awesome. This is really cool. Oh, look at it, it's a little trailer park. Look at the little Airstream. I love it. Ooh, there's even a little game, like a little hide and seek thing. I don't think you get anything, but it's a way to keep the kids busy. So this is really cool. So there's a machine where you can feed it, and for $1, it'll run for 10 minutes, which is really cool. So look, even the train tracks are flashing, the police cars go in. This is really cool. It just goes on forever. Oh, and then there's a loop where it comes back. I can't figure out where the train goes. Because, oh, the tracks are on the bottom there. Oh, look, there's a train right here, too. Yes, very cool. They're going to pass each other. I love this. One of the pigs escaped from the butchers. That's hysterical. It's kind of crazy. He was only actually in Deadwood for 2 weeks before he became alive. But, like, the town's all about him. It's pretty wild. Sorry, I just ran across the street because people weren't really paying attention to the Let the Pedestrians Cross sign. But next up is the Adams Museum. Apparently, we have a museum here. Just kidding, it's for W.E. Adams, who basically like was one of the founding fathers of this town. He ran the grocery, he had a huge house here. Dude was loaded. So this is really cool. So these are like four of the most famous people here in Deadwood. Obviously we have Wild Bill Hiccup. Yeah, I keep saying that. It's not Hiccup, it's Hickok. Calamity Jane. Dora Dufran, who was actually the original madam for the brothel. And then Seth Bullock, who was the sheriff. This is a really cool little multi-story museum. It's all self-funded, runs completely on donations.
Here's his gun.
What?
Here's his gun. I think.
Oh,
And that's
very
the
cool.
cards he was holding.
There's an actual gun in there.
Yeah, that's his gun.
Very cool. These are the actual playing cards from the deck used in the game played when Wild Bill Hickok was shot. And the aces and eights is what became known as Dead Man's Hand because he was unalived while holding those cards in his hand. So it even has a section that talks about the brothels. It talks about some of the mining. Apparently the Deadwood show was about this town. So this is actually the gold nugget that made Potato Johnny famous. And he carried this thing around forever. Oh, Potato Grape Johnny. This is the actual gold nugget. And he always says that it was shaped like a woman's leg, and you can kind of see like the leg, the heel, and the toes there. It's pretty cool. So this is cool. So these are kind of games where you can take one of these and play a game around based on the clues on the floor with your kids. And that's Mr. Adams right there. And again, I'm fairly certain it's no relation of Lee, but we don't actually know. So because of the Transcontinental Railway, there was actually a large Chinese settlement here. Like there was a lot of Chinese, there was a whole Chinatown here back in the 1800s. And this is one of the lions they used at one of their Chinese New Year parades. This is really cool. They have something called Black Hills, believe it or not, and one of the local ranchers actually had birthed, well, not the rancher, the cow did, a two-headed cow. They said it happens about every 1 in 10 million. So that's pretty cool. So just kidding, this actually came from Kansas. It lived for about 6 weeks. Now this is cool if you have kids. It's basically just random planks of wood, and your challenge is to build a road. And it was saying how the early roads were very difficult to navigate. And I failed. And then in the basement, it looks like it has a nature and geology section. This is really cool because this is more like a children's museum down here, and it's all like hands-on stuff like these you can all touch and spin. So you can feel like the gnarls, the burls in the trees, and the different types of woods. Very cool.
Here it is.
Yes, this is what I've been waiting for.
We can play with this.
So this is a 3D topographic sandbox. So it's literally just playground sand. But because of the projector, as you build, you'll make mountains. If you hold your hand over it, it's supposed to rain. Oh, there you go. See, now the water's coming.
Whoa, that is cool.
And if I were to build a hole in it and do that, oh, it's not filling with water. It's kind of right here, but it's not really filling with water like it should. Well, this is cool. Here's a piece of petrified wood. This isn't as nice as the ones in the petrified forest, but it's still rock-like. This is a full plesiosaur skeleton that was found. Well, actually, it's not a full. It's like a half, but very cool how they still have it lined up, how they found it. So that's interesting. Its heads, most of the heads are bent back like that because the neck muscles are the first to contract and get rigor mortis. Very cool. So this is cool. These two are what copper looks like when you pull it out. Nope, just kidding. These two are what copper looks like. Because that's 2 and 3. Number 7 there is some obsidian. I've actually been to the obsidian forest in Oregon where you could actually walk through the obsidian fields. That was wild. So this is really cool. Dad was having trouble with the examples I give, but this is one of his. It's a $10 bill. Very, very cool.
Where do you see the eyes? There's his mouth.
Oh, whoa, that's wild looking.
And it,
Oh, that's cool. That's a leaf. That's like all the cover's gone off, so it's just the veins in the stem. Ooh, I'm really like a toddler. Sorry, guys. This is wolfite and mimite. Oh, look at the colors in that one. This is siderite. This is whitlockite. It's cool. Looks like it's got poppy seeds in it. It's wild. And here's the malachite, and that is really got some bright greens in it. That is so pretty.
If you like these videos, please click that subscribe button, tap the like, and ring that notification bell so you always know when a new video is headed your way. Thank you so much for watching, and now we're on to the next adventure. Bye, guys!